come. There is one dwarf yet in Moria who still draws breath.
Are you ready to uncover the mystery of what really happened in the realm of Khazad-dum? Join me as we explore why Gimli, son of Glóin, had no knowledge of the fate of his kin during the War of the Ring. How could such a significant event go unheard in Erebor? Was it intentional or accidental? Were there even rumours? Grab your salted pork, get comfy, and let's dive into the depths of Moria to uncover the truth.
Build me an army worthy of Mordor.
Remember everyone, if you find this video helpful, informative, or entertaining today, please remember to hit that subscribe button below. By subscribing, you'll never miss out on any of our latest videos, and you'll be supporting us to continue creating great content like this. To begin with, let us discuss what happened in Moria. Previously, we have delved into the history of the Orc chieftain, Azog the Defiler, and his reign over Moria during the War of the Dwarves and Orcs. However, what happened after his demise? The Battle of Azanul-Bizar, which marked the end of the aforementioned war and Azog's death, occurred in the year 2799 of the Third Age. Despite Thrain II, the father of Thorin Oakenshield, leading the dwarves to victory, they left Moria desolate and abandoned. Dane Ironfoot,
Good morning.
the same one who appears in The Hobbit, had seen Durin's bane, the Balrog, and cautioned his kin about entering that location. Then Thrain turned to Dane and said, "But surely my own kin will not desert me." "No," said Dane, "you are the father of our folk, and we have bled for you, and will again, but we will not enter Khazad-dum. You will not enter Khazad-dum. Only I have looked through the shadow of the gate. Beyond the shadow it waits for you still, Durin's bane. The world must change and some other power than ours must come before Durin's folk walk again in Moria." So from here, some of the orcs who fled the battle remained, led by the son of Azog, Bolg. Following the Battle of the Five Armies in 2941, Thorin's company of dwarves worked diligently to restore Erebor and the town of Dale. Eventually, their efforts paid off, and the region became prosperous once again. However, Balin, yes, Balin of Thorin's company,
At your service.
grew restless and fixated on reclaiming Khazad-dum, or Moria, and finding the Ring of Thror, which he believed had been lost when Thror entered the gates in 2790. Despite Dane Ironfoot's warnings, Balin led an expedition, departing from Erebor in 2989. Several dwarves, including Owen and Ori from Thorin's company too, accompanied Balin. Although they encountered resistance at the Great Gates, they were able to triumph over their opponents and re-enter Moria. They established the 21st Hall as their main base, with Balin declaring himself as the Lord of Moria, and setting up a throne room in the Chamber of Mizarble, which is, of course, the same chamber that we later see his tomb as discovered by the Fellowship of the Ring. For the next 5 years, though, the colony in Moria made significant progress and managed to recover valuable treasures, including the famed stores of Mithril. However, in the November of 2994, Balin met his demise. While investigating the Mirrormere, the lake located beneath the east gate of Khazad-dum and the source of the river Silverlode, he was struck by an orc archer and succumbed to his wounds. It is worth noting that during the Deathless himself once gazed into this very lake and saw a reflection of a crown upon his head, which inspired him to establish Khazad-dum at this location. Balin was then laid to rest in the Chamber of Mizarble, where his throne remained. More orcs would arrive and besiege the group of dwarves who still lived, ultimately forcing them to make their final stand in that very chamber. Regrettably though, none survived the attack.
Here lies Balin, son of Hundin, Lord of Moria.
Now we will return to why Gimli was unaware of these events. The answer varies slightly depending on whether one examines the books or the movie adaptations, though. According to Tolkien's writings, after Balin and his company arrived in Moria, they sent messages back to Erebor for 5 years, reporting their successes and glory. However, everything changed at that point when Balin was fatally shot by that orc archer. While the dwarves were able to slay Balin's killer, more orcs arrived afterwards, forcing them to then retreat inside. It is also mentioned that Owen attempted to escape out of the West Gate, but was captured by the Watcher in the water. No one managed to escape to deliver the news, and the orcs were unlikely to relay the message and provoke the wrath of the dwarves. After all, the orcs suffered greatly the last time they did clash with the dwarves in any major battle. This topic is discussed by Glowin during the Council of Elrond, though. "It is now many years ago," said Glowin, "that a shadow of disquiet fell upon our people. Whence it came we did not at first perceive. Words began to be whispered in secret. It was said that we were hemmed in a narrow place, and that greater wealth and splendour would be found in a wider world. Some spoke of Moria, the mighty works of our fathers that are called in our own tongue, Khazad-dum, and they declared that now at last we had the power and numbers to return." Glowin sighed. "Moria, Moria, wonder of the northern world, too deep we delved there, and woke the nameless fear. Long have its vast mansions lain empty since the children of Durin fled, but now we spoke of it again with longing, and yet with dread. For no dwarf has dared to pass the doors of Khazad-dum for many lives of kings, save Thror only, and he perished. At last, however, Balin listened to the whispers and resolved to go, and though Dane did not give leave willingly, he took with him Ori and Owen and many of our folk, and they went away south. That was nigh on 30 years ago. For a while we had news, and it seemed good. Messages reported that Moria had been entered, and a great work begun there. Then there was silence, and no word has ever come from Moria since." As evident from Glowin's statement, the absence of news is likely a bad sign, although it is not definitive. This would lead his son, Gimli, to hold on to that same belief. When the Fellowship later deliberates on whether to traverse the mines, Gimli and Gandalf discuss the matter, with Gandalf saying, "But most of the orcs of the Misty Mountains were scattered or destroyed in the Battle of Five Armies. The Eagles report that orcs are gathering again from afar, but there is a hope that Moria is still free. There is even a chance the dwarves are there, and that in some deep hall of his fathers, Balin, son of Fundin, may be found. However it may prove, one must tread the path that need chooses. I will tread the path with you, Gandalf," said Gimli. "I will go and look on the halls of Durin, whatever may wait there, if you can find the doors that are shut." This once again demonstrates that Gimli is not ignorant of the events that occurred in Moria. However, he may still cling to just a glimmer of hope, or
Just a fool's hope.
that Balin might have somehow survived and hidden himself away. Gimli desires closure on the fate of his kin, more than anything for the sake of his own peace of mind. And if the only way to get that means an untimely end, well, at least he will have got to look upon the halls of Durin in those last moments.
Behold, the great realm and dwarf city of Dwarrowdelf.
Now, if we quickly look at the other hand, the Peter Jackson movie adaptations, as they slightly alter this perspective. In the movies, Gimli is portrayed as more optimistic, believing that his cousin's colony is still thriving despite not having heard from them for many years. This portrayal makes Gimli seem more naive than he does in the books. However, discussing the differences between the book and the movie versions of Gimli requires really a separate video on its own. So if that video would interest you, then please leave me a comment of "Nobody tosses a dwarf," and we will get working on creating that for you in the future. But anyway, the reason for this change to Gimli in the movie version can likely be attributed to the need to increase dramatic tension. This is a crucial aspect of filmmaking, and making this change was a simple way to create mystery and tension surrounding what the characters may discover when they follow this path. Especially when we have heard nothing from Glowin in the movies either. We know nothing of this potential expedition or what may be found. Additionally, it allowed for a more substantial character arc for Gimli, for better or worse. These changes often occur when adapting stories to different formats due to the differences in storytelling methods. Now, is that for better or worse? Like I said, that is not the discussion for today, but definitely an interesting one to think about.
Roaring fires, malt beer, red meat off the bone.
And they call it a mine.
A mine!
So there we have it. Gimli did have an idea of what happened in Moria, but he couldn't bring himself to accept the grim fate of his kin without solid evidence, and the mere thought of it was just unbearable. It may have been altered for his portrayal in the movies, but this was likely to create more tension and mystery, which is necessary for film storytelling. This difference can sometimes confuse fans, so I at least hope for today I have managed to clear all of that up for you, and that you have found this video interesting. With that now though, it is time for my question of the day, which is, how different do you think things would have been if Balin had never given in to his desire to reclaim Khazad-dum? Let me know your thoughts and theories on this in the comment section down below. And now to shout out our patrons. You guys have been amazing in supporting our short film project. We have got some amazing updates coming soon. We are really making good progress and I cannot thank you all enough. We have the Divine Power tier member of Kevin, the Fire Demon tier member of Nashith, and the Wizard Staff tier members of John, Andrew, and Hunter. You are all true legends of the Brohirrim. Finally, I really appreciate your time in watching this video today. If you've enjoyed the content, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon with notifications enabled, so that you will get notified when all future videos are released. Thank you once again for your support, and I look forward to seeing you next time on The Broken Sword.